Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tea Table. Today is day 2 of looking at some cool new additions or new decks from our upcoming release later this month, Astral Radiance. Today we're going to take a deck that's existed but add in a few new tricks to hopefully make it stand out in the meta, despite Urshifu pretty much being everywhere right now. So with that being said, today's deck is Blissey V and Friends, is what we'll call it. So, we'll start with Blissey V, and then you'll kind of get the gist of the deck. So, Blissey V's attack for a colorless does 10 plus 30 for every energy attached to it. But after you do damage, you can attach up to 3 energy from your discard pile to your Blissey. So, it's pretty cool. Usually you just use cards like your Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, or Professor's Research to discard the energy, power it up, etc. Traditionally, Blissey decks really only have Blissey and maybe like a Dunsparce in it, or they're just like, I don't even care about Dunsparce. But this version is using some cool new cards from the next expansion, and I'm really excited to see what they do to complement Blissey and really get it going to be a force in the meta. So, we do have the 4 Blissey V. It does have an ability that says when you attach energy heal conditions, which doesn't really matter too much now, but you never know when that might be a thing, or you fix a random deck in League. Who knows if you're going to need it? Possibly future sets they release, like that's going to be a big thing. So it's just a cool ability to have for maybe later in the meta. So then we're going to jump right into a new card, Wordier V. So Weirder V here gives some vibes of a couple cards we've had before. Its ability is Open Road. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot, you may move any number of energy cards from your other Pokemon to it. So your ability, you can, when it says move to the active, that means like you don't have to just retreat. So if you escape rope, basically, or switch into it, you will get to move the energy. Now don't forget it does say once during your turn, so if a Pokemon so you just got to be careful when you want to use it. It's not when your opponent does anything, so you just got to be careful on that one. But its attack for 3 colors is Psy Shield Bash. 40 times the amount of energy cards attached to this Pokemon. So what you got going on is you got Blissey V putting a bunch of energy into play, and then you can switch into Wordier and possibly hit him for who knows how much damage. I mean, it's a really good backup attacker for your Blissey, and as you'll see when we get later into the deck, it does combo well with a few cards in your deck to really hit your opponent and swing the game in your favor, while also getting to use really cool new Pokemon from the Arceus game. So then we have Lumineon V. When you play this card from your hand on your bench, search for a supporter. That's it. Just help you be more efficient to get supporters out of your deck, whereas the boss's order, like the other ones you see there. We do have Sparkling Greninja again, which is a new type of Pokemon, a Sparkling Pokemon, which you can only have one in your deck. So one Sparkling Pokemon, period. Its ability is discard an energy card, combos with Blissey, draw 2 cards. So just a built-in draw engine that combos with your Blissey V to really get the damage going fast. We're not going to worry about its attack in this deck as we're not going to be able to use it. So we're just focusing on the ability to draw 2 cards, which just combos and lets you get going faster and faster. Then another new card we have is Miltank. It's got the really cool ability. They always seem to print every cycle of new cards. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon V. So sometimes it could be a stall card. You just kind of put it up there, get a couple turns out of it. Just be like, hey, can you knock out my Miltank? Some people can't. Some decks just can't. So I only went with one because the meta currently does have a lot of other Pokemon that aren't Vs, but every now and then you'll just hit that person and they just sit there like, huh, I can't beat this card, can I? And then you get them. But it does have an attack kick about 10 plus 20 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon in play. So if you happen to play against like an Eternatus deck, which could have up to 8 bench, you just bring in your milk and you're just like, drink up, or some terrible pun, whatever. And it's also just really good against them. So mostly it's going to be a stall card if you need to maybe stall a turn, your opponent can't do anything to get around it, or if you notice, they're not really having another attacker, Easy, get you the dubs. And then we got two support bench sitters. We got Dunsparce. Colorless Pokemon in play have no weakness, and basically all your Pokemon are colorless. So it's Forage Fu and other random stuff. And then we got Manaphy, which protects your bench from damage via cards such as Urshifu or Jolteon. Now, obviously, your opponent can pick them off, and it is what it is, but if they have to work towards it, it does give you time for your other Pokemon to live, so you don't have to worry about them getting knocked out. So we move on to the trainers here. For Quick Ball, discard a card, get a basic. Boom, combo energy. True Ultra Ball, hey, discard 2 cards. Boom, combo, get a Pokemon. And then we got another new card, Hisulan Heavy Ball. So it says, look at your face down prizes. You may reveal a basic Pokemon and put it in your hand, and then shuffle Hisulan Heavy Ball into your prizes and put them back face down. So, and if you do not have a basic Pokemon, you just discard the card. So this is really cool because, like, if you're facing, let's say, Urshifu, and you're like, oh, Dunsparce's prize, you're not automatically like losing because if you can get the Heavy Ball, which I know it's hard to do sometimes because you only have one, but hopefully you've drawn enough to do it. It can just give you outs basically to it, or you can get your Lumini, whatever you might prize that's a one of, or even if you prize both Wordier, etc., etc. It's a pretty cool card. It doesn't really hurt to play it. There's no downside to playing it. It's cool. It's a nice card. I'm going to try to fit it in decks where I have important one-ofs. Like this one, we got a 5 one-of basics, so definitely a card. I thought about having 2, but I think 1 is where it's at for now. So we got Hyper Potion, which says discard 2 energy from one of your Pokemon, and you get to heal 120 damage from that Pokemon. Now that combos well with double turbo energy, as that's 2 energy. Because since it does not say 2 energy cards, you could just have your Blissey, boom. You're sacrificing some damage, but you do discard the 2, heal 120, and then you get to attack and bring it right back. So it's a pretty cool combo. You're not going to really need 4 because kind of 2-shotting is a common thing, but I definitely wanted to have 2. I wouldn't go less than 2, but you could try 3 if you are feeling up to it and you think it's more explosive in this deck than I do personally. So we go to another new card, Trekking Shoes. Look at the top card of your deck. You may put that card into your hand or discard it and draw a card. So you look at the top card of your deck. Oh, look at that energy I'm going to discard. And then you get to draw a card. You're not going to know what the second card is, but I mean, it's not like it's an acro bike, a fast bike or anything. You're just on your shoes, so you only get to look at one. Or if you like the sub card, you just get to draw it. So it's an item to help you speed through your deck and then draw a card. And also combos with your Blissey to get energy in the discard pile. Pretty cool card. We got our Stadium, 3 collapsed stadiums. So usually Blissey decks do run Pat to the Peak, but we got the Weird Ear, so we're not going to be running Pat to the Peak. So we're going to be running Collapsed Stadium. So the cool thing about Collapsed Stadium is, so let's say you Weird Ear into, like, you make it active, and you put your Blissey on the bench to like 220 damage. You drop Collapsed Stadium, you just discard the Blissey. The Blissey's gone. So you just took 2 prizes off the board for your opponent that they might be working toward. And then you got a fresh attacker and probably another Blissey on the bench already, and you're ready to go. It can also help you discard like your little Minion if you don't want it. If there's like a point in the game you're against like Arceus and they got 2 prizes, but you're kind of winning the race. And it's like 2-2, but they can just pick off Luminion, so you can just have a bunch of Pokemon that don't give 2 prizes on your bench and discard Luminion, etc., etc. It's a cool stadium. You're going to need stadiums because of our last video, the stadium where all your energy just do nothing. So you're definitely going to need stadiums. I don't think you need 4. 3 seem really good with the amount of draw cards you do have. So we got a Rescue Carrier. I put that solely to get Manaphy and Dunsparce back to help against the bad matchups. You may not even need them, or they might be so bad that it doesn't even matter. So that's definitely a card you could drop if you want, but I do have one for now, just in case. So we got 2 Escape Ropes. They do come with the Weird Ear. You can go 1 Switch, 1 Escape Rope. Escape Rope has been a card to be played more because it helps you get around the big cards you might not be able to knock out and get a cheeky knockout with, like, oh, look at that, your bench is really easy to knock out Pokemon, boom, Escape Rope, or your opponent's got 1 Sobble, or they got Crobat, and you're like, let me switch to that, take prizes, easy. So I do like that over Switch. We got a Pow Pad to get back supporters. I've been loving Pow Pad more and more. I know I've been seeing more and more lists. We don't have Versus Sigurd, they're not bringing it back, I imagine. Pow Pad's pretty good. And with cards like Trekking Shoes and Greninja, it's not like super hard to draw back into the supporters. And then our supporters are 3 Professor's Research, boom, 3 Sharon's Care, which you get to pick up one of your colorless Pokemon. That combos with Weird Ear. So you can just pick up your Blissey, or let's say you like attack with Weird Ear and they didn't knock it out, you just play another one, switch that one, and Sharon's Care the other one. So that it's pretty good combo. I don't think you need 4. It's one of those, you don't really need 4 because you got those supporters to play. Plus you got Pow Pad. It's a really cool combo in the deck. Then we got 3 Bosses Order just to pick off things. Because sometimes your Bliss is doing 180, 90, and you just got to pick off the Crobats, the Luminions, whatever on the bench to get those prizes. We got 1 Marnie for Disruption. You're going to be drawing enough. Marnie's just kind of a good card to have one of, just in case. You got it. Your opponent's like, oh, we got 13 cards in your hand. Well, can't really be having that now, can we? And then we got another new card, Roxanne. So you can only play this card if your opponent has 3 or less prizes. Both players shuffle their hands into their decks. You draw 6, and they draw 2. Now, if you're against, like, Mew and stuff, obviously, without Pat to the Peak in your deck, it's not going to mean too much. But if you're just against, like, an Inteleon deck, it's like, well, if they don't draw the Drizzle or Scoop Up Net in those 2 cards, it's not looking good for them. So I like this card. I think this card being good depends on like how popular stuff like Mew and the Barrel that draws until you have 5 is, because if those are running everywhere, your Roxanne just going to kind of be awkward. But it is really good in Path decks, so if you're playing like Jolteon VMAX and you're knocked out your Jolteon as Mew, like, well, now you got 2 cards and I got Path, so good luck. Then we got 3 Cape of Toughness. Your base Pokemon get 50 more HP. All our Pokemon are basic Pokemon. So you got a 300 HP Blissey just tanking it out. That's a 2-prizer. Or you got a 270 Weird Ear vibing out, not really getting knocked out that easily. Super great card. But you do also have 1 Choice Belt because sometimes you just need to do 30 more damage to a V to get there. I would play 1. I thought about just 4 Cape of Toughness and 0 Choice Belt, but then that was weird because Choice Belt is pretty dang good, so I definitely stuck with the 1. So then for the energy, we got 4 Capture Energy. When you attach it, you get to search your deck for a basic and put it on your bench, so it combos with your deck. You open Blissey, you get a Capture, you put a Greninja on the bench, discard that energy, draw 2, etc., get another Blissey. Or if like it's like mid-game, and you got like 4 or 5 energy on your Blissey, and you're like, I wish I could switch, and you just attach that, Escape Rope 2, Weird Ear, and get them. We got 4 Double Turbo. Obviously, you do minus 20, but who cares? It provides 60 more damage before the reduction. Really good. You get 3 or 4 of those on a Blissey, and your opponent's just like, what's happening? What timeline did I just enter? So, great that. You got a really cool card that I wish colorless has been better because this card is amazing. Powerful Energy. You do 20 more if you're colorless. So, it's just cool. It's just a neat card they gave colorless. Pop that for turn 160 with Blissey, and that knocks out a Sobble. So that's really, really good. Or Inkay, or Bidoof, or something like random non-V based Pokemon your opponent's going to start with. Pretty much going to knock it out. And then we got 3 Lucky Energy. So I've seen people play like Aurora Energy to discard energy with their energy. But with Greninja and the Trekking Shoes, I don't think you need it. So we got Lucky Energy that says when you're damaged by an attack, draw a card. So if you just got 3, you get to draw 3 cards, which is pretty cool. There are other energy you can put in. I think the first 12 energy, the Turbo, Capture, and Powerful are like the 12 you're going to play. And do whatever you want for the last one. If you got a cool energy you like, that's just, that is pretty neat. You can play Aurora if you want to just like play a Zapdos or something too. To get that in there, the last 3 spots are kind of flex to do whatever you want. I think Blissey, I just want Blissey to be good. I know we got a lot of Blissey fans out there. I know people who want Blissey to be in the top tier, not even top, tier 2. I'll take a tier 2 Blissey, So it's going to be interesting to see if Weird Ear and Greninja and Trekking Shoes and all that stuff can put Blissey into that atmosphere with those other decks. Who knows? I still wouldn't advise it, even with the Dunsparce Rescue Carrier. If Urshifu's all you got at locals, you're like, wow, look at that. 11 Urshifu decks. All right, go Blissey. My friend Cooper, a few weeks ago, he was going to play Raichu, and then he switched to Charizard, and there was like 10 water decks in the room. Shout out to Cooper. Just kind of how it works. So it's a meta call. It's definitely going to be one of the first decks I build for sure. With that being said, let me know what you think of Blissey. Should I have more weirder, less weirder? Should I get weirder? We don't know. So just let me know in the comments, drop a like, and if you feel like it, a subscribe would be amazing for our pal Blissey. And I will see you next time on the tea table.